Hey, what is going on, guys? I hope you all are doing well today. Elliot here. Welcome back to The Fragrance Well. For today's video, we are going to be talking about something I know a lot of guys are fans of. That is very strong fragrances. Matter of fact, these fragrances here pack such a punch that you can't wash them off. I mean, if they get into your clothes, they are in there and you're not washing them out unless, particularly if you're using conventional washing methods. I know there are some things you can do to, like get the smell out of clothes if it's really, really strong. Personally, I don't really worry about that. I just kind of wash my clothes normally. I know the fragrance, if it gets on them, will eventually subside if it does like to stick around, but that is the type of fragrance I'm talking about. You wash your clothes, you can still smell the fragrance there. You take a shower, let's say within a reasonable amount of time, like 8 hours or so, you can still kind of smell the fragrance on your skin. These fragrances do not simply wash off. I've got 8 of them here, and they are a variety of fragrances, so it's not one type of thing. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it. Before we do, as always, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you do like this content, and please hit that bell icon and enable notifications so you can be notified when I upload new videos. Let's get into it. All right, guys, let's get started. I do think it goes without saying that there are some brands that just kind of have a lot of options that could go on to a video like this. First one coming from Mancera. This is Amber Fever. Mancera Amber Fever. Now, like I said, Mancera in general is known to definitely have some powerhouse fragrances. Kind of just chose this one because I haven't talked about it in a while, and also I know it's a good one for this list. This was a blind buy for me about a year ago now, coming up on a year ago. Fortunately, it's one that I just wouldn't wear a lot. It's very, very, very sweet. It's very candied, like kind of a caramel, cotton candy, amber fragrance. I mean, it's pleasant, don't get me wrong. It is not really cloying, in my opinion, if you don't overspray it. But one thing is for sure, it's definitely a very, very sweet fragrance and does do it in kind of a feminine way. Although men can certainly rock this, don't take that the wrong way. That being said, this is a powerful scent. I remember when I just kind of test wore it, because like I said, it was a blind buy. I test wore it and I had to drive out of town for work, and I was staying there overnight, and this was on my skin, and it just so happened to be a cool day where I was going. I think I had 4 sprays on, and man, this stuff was pushing like crazy, and it actually got into my jacket as well. It stayed in my jacket for at least 3 weeks. It might have been a month, and I mean to the point where you just kind of pick up the jacket and you just smell it in the air around the jacket. It is some powerful stuff. Actually, it was kind of pleasant smelling it in that way because it wasn't constantly bombarding me. But yeah, this one right here, as do many Mancera fragrances, definitely have that staying power. So this one here, you are committed to it. If you don't want to wear it, for the life of the fragrance, do not spray this. If you plan on washing it off in a short amount of time, it ain't happening. Once again, from Mancera, this is Amber Fever. All right, next one coming from Dior. It's going to be Homme Intense. Dior Homme Intense. And as many of you probably know, this fragrance is, easily one of the most popular fragrances in general, designer, niche, indie, whatever. Just one of the most popular fragrances in the community, and it is known to be a powerhouse fragrance. Really long-lasting longevity, really nice projection as well, and it is all of those things. This is an iris fragrance, in case you are unfamiliar. This is the famous makeup, lipsticky like Dior iris that really kind of set the trend, I think, for many of the iris fragrances that preceded it. And this one here is more of a, I would say, kind of a sweeter, slightly dustier kind of iris fragrance, if that makes sense, in terms of the supporting notes. Get a little bit of patchouli in this. Ambrette seed is one of those things that's listed as one of the main notes. I still have yet to kind of smell that by itself, so I don't really know what that's like, but this definitely has that kind of really sweet chocolatey feel, so that's why I'm pretty sure the patchouli is really nice and present in this, as it can have chocolatey notes sometimes. This one I think is the most gourmand leaning of the Dior Homme fragrance line. And listen, I wore this the other day and I came home and showered and it was still on my skin the next morning. It does not wash out easily. You are committed to it if you spray this fragrance here on. Once again, coming from Dior, this is Homme Intense. Moving on, got one coming from Lorenzo Pizzalia. This is Black Sea. Lorenzo Pizzalia Black Sea. Now let me tell you right here, this one is beast mode. I mean, this fragrance is nuclear, and you don't need a lot of sprays either. So this is an aquatic fragrance, a very dark aquatic fragrance. Has some green, almost seaweed, kelp like characteristics, or I think algae is like a listed note or accord, whatever you want to call it. It is a little bit salty in nature, does have an ozonic nature to it, very marine and aquatic overall. It also has a very heavy powdery nature to the fragrance. All I can tell you is that this stuff is insanely strong. It doesn't make any sense. This here is probably still on my raincoat because for whatever reason, anytime I need to wear my raincoat, I tend to have this fragrance on. I don't know why that is, and it's not just a coincidence because the name is Black Sea, which the inspiration for this fragrance is the sea as a storm is rolling in. But all that being said, that's neither here nor there. Stuff is nuclear. You get this on your skin, you are committed. You are not washing it out easily, and if it gets on your clothes, it is in there unless you use some non-conventional methods to remove heavy smells out of your clothes. That is for sure. Nuclear fragrance right here. Once again, from Lorenzo Pizzalia, this is Black Sea. All right, next one, coming from Tiziana Terenzi, this is Nero Oudh. Tiziana Terenzi, Nero Oudh. This is the first time me featuring this fragrance on this channel. I did just get it not too long ago, so a little bit of a story here. I actually got my nose on this scent like 2 or 3 years ago. I mean, really early in my fragrance journey, absolutely loved it. And I knew it was one kind of in the back of my mind I always wanted to get, but I should have revisited this before I bought it this time around. Long story short, I was doing a haul, so I was just kind of trying to buy up fragrances with a pretty large budget. This one kind of fit into it, so I just grabbed it. Honestly, I could have done without this now, only because I've gotten my nose on better fragrances that do the same thing. So that being said, what is this? It's a saffron rose oud fragrance. The saffron in here is a little bit harsh. It's a little bit medicinal. Actually, it's a lot medicinal. Kind of a fruity, floral rose bed, if you will. Oud that's in here. You do get some oud-like qualities as the fragrance dries down a little bit because that saffron starts to back off and settle a little bit, and you get some of those kind of resinous, woody kind of oud characteristics. I think the listed oud is Indian oud, if I'm not mistaken. There's some other woods. There's actually quite a bit of an amber and musk combination going along with the woodiness of this scent. Now, it doesn't smell bad. I'm just saying I've gotten my nose on better things. But beyond all of that, this stuff here is powerful. I wore this the other night. I can't remember what I was doing, but I wore it the other night and, you know, came home and kind of tried to wipe it off because I didn't really want to shower until the morning. I wasn't really dirty or anything like that, but I just tried to wipe it off like with alcohol, and I thought I got it off until I woke up the next morning and it was still there. I'm like, this stuff here is powerful, and it stayed on my skin for a long time. So yeah, this right here, man, it's a powerful fragrance. Not the best smelling saffron rose oud fragrance out there. Again, it's not bad. Does get better as it dries down though, but if you want a powerful scent that definitely pushes nicely off the skin, I do think it smells a little bit more balanced kind of in the air overall, and you want it to last, this one here will absolutely do it. So once again, from Tiziana Terenzi, this is Nero Oudh. All right, next one is coming from Frederic Malle, and this is gonna be Portrait of a Lady. Frederic Malle, Portrait of a Lady. Now, you know, this is one of the most popular fragrances in the community overall as well, but the thing about this one, it is not for everyone. So this is one of those ones where you need to make sure you like this anyway, because once you spray it on, you are committed. It is a powerful fragrance with projection and longevity. So what is this? Basically, it's a spicy, woody rose fragrance. A really nice kind of green, slightly jammy rose in my opinion, but a little bit more green overall. Kind of has that stem kind of smell and a very lemony facet to it as well. And then a heavy dose of spice in this. It's a kind of a clove slash cumin, more of a clove kind of spice, and it is powerful, very peppery. So that's gonna throw some people off, and very dry and woody, mixing with patchouli and like sandalwood. It's very, very nice if you like these kind of things. It's definitely one you need to check out first. And all that being said, I've sprayed this on my skin a couple of times now because I did also just get this bottle in. Finally, I should have had this fragrance, but whatever. Man, let me tell you, this stuff slaps. Very powerful scent. I took a shower, and it was still there. Very hard to get off my skin, and I scrubbed and scrubbed, and it didn't work. Also, it got on my clothes a little bit, and yeah, after I washed those clothes, still could smell it pretty easily. So powerful stuff here, does not like to wash out with conventional washing methods. But if you are a fan of this fragrance, you know what I'm talking about. This stuff smells amazing if you like scents like this, and it definitely does not disappoint in the performance department. Once again, from Frederick Malle, this is Portrait of a Lady. All right, next one is coming from the house of Homme. This is Lunar Vetiver. Homme Lunar Vetiver. Now, I've only got 2 fragrances from this house so far, both of them blind buys. Thankfully, both of them successful blind buys. But I'm starting to think this house has a lot of fragrances that are very, very powerful. And I mean extremely powerful beast mode scents. This one is as such, and so is the other one I have. So this one here, obviously, as the name implies, is a vetiver fragrance. Accompanying the vetiver in this scent is going to be a strong dose of aromatic notes similar to sage. I pretty much just sum it up as sage. It's kind of the main one that comes to my nose. And then there's a lot of tobacco flower, which if you know anything about tobacco flower, it's kind of a soapy, sweet flower, and it can be a little bit overwhelming in a fragrance, particularly if you don't like the smell of it. Another fragrance that makes a lot of use of tobacco flower is going to be Xerjoff Oudh Overdose. I imagine the original Oudh probably has it too, but I only have the Overdose. And another classic one that also makes use of it is going to be Versace The Dreamer. A lot of tobacco flower in there, and that's probably one of the things that makes that fragrance kind of a 50-50 for a lot of people. Anyway, that being said, I love the way this stuff smells. There is a little bit of a nice spicy profile as well. It's kind of balanced, not spicy overall. Definitely the biggest thing going along with that, I would say kind of a woody and clean vetiver, is going to be that tobacco flower and that sage. That's kind of the main things that stick out with this scent. And as I stated before, with clearly with a lot of Homme fragrances, or at least the 2 I have so far, nuclear. If you get it on your skin, if you want it on your skin, you need to be committed to it. Don't expect to wash this off anytime soon. And also, same thing with your clothes, obviously. Once again, from Homme, this is Lunar Vetiver. All right, next one is coming from Orto Parisi, and this is going to be Megamare. Orto Parisi, Megamare, and by the way, another house where they almost intentionally make very powerful fragrances. So this one here is probably one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful. Matter of fact, in my personal opinion, this fragrance is literally a well-known one in the community for 2 reasons. Number one, it is literally nuclear, and I mean, yeah, and looking at the ones I got here, this is the most nuclear fragrance I'm featuring on this video. And also it does have some compliment getting potential. The smell overall is, it's not bad. It's actually just kind of basic in my opinion. It's kind of like middle of the road. It's basically an aquatic fragrance, but not overly ambitious in terms of the depth of the aquatic nature of it. Uses a strong note of kaolin, which is a note that, or should I say, an aroma chemical that can have aquatic and watery like features, and also kind of has this really fake watermelon kind of smell. A lot of that is in here, so it gives it a little bit of a fruitiness to it. And then there's like a ton of ambroxan, so a woody, musky kind of dry down to this scent. And it even kind of moves away from being an aquatic scent to just ambroxan once the fragrance really dries down. But overall, it's really people pleasing, extremely powerful. We're talking about like a 2 spray scent here for most people and for most occasions, unless you're outside and it's wide open, if you will. But yeah, this fragrance here is super powerful. I remember I sprayed this on like early in the afternoon and went and did some playing some drums and stuff outside. It was extremely hot. I was sweating like crazy, all of that. Came back home and my wife smelled it on me and she was like, "Did you just spray that on?" I'm like, "No, it's been on my skin for hours and I've been sweating." That's how powerful this stuff is. And once it gets in your clothes, it's the same thing. Good luck washing it out with conventional methods. Once again, from Orto Parisi, this is Megamare. All right, and the last one is coming from Thameen, London. This is gonna be Amber Room. Thameen, London Amber Room. So with this one here, this is going to be a play on Dior's Ombre Nuit. And there's no shortages of fragrances out there that do that. They take inspiration from it. What I can say is the biggest difference with this one over Ombre Nuit is going to be a little bit more of a brighter kind of citrus profile, if you will, a lot more of a patchouli profile, particularly in this one. And also this one is absolutely nuclear in comparison to Dior Ombre Nuit, which is some people's gripe with it, you know, not really being a super long lasting fragrance. It's not weak in my opinion, but I could understand their concern. But that being said, this one here definitely fixes that problem if that's a concern for you. So yeah, that's kind of the main olfactive differences between it. Yeah, but I've sprayed this on before. I sprayed 4 sprays one time, went to a bank meeting, and I kind of felt like I had too much on. First of all, I was kind of overwhelming myself, and then somebody walked in and they were pretty far away from me at the time, and it was like, yeah, I can smell it. We started talking about fragrances to an extent. He was like, yeah, I could smell it, you know, and he was pretty far away from me. So I'm like, okay, this is a room filler here, so you got to be easy on the trigger with this one. But yeah, this one right here, it did get in my clothes as well. I think I might have even sprayed my clothes that day, and it did not wash out easily. Granted, not one I reach for a ton, so I don't have a ton of data on this one compared to some of the other ones on this list, but I've worn it enough to know that this one is no slouch when it comes to performance. So if you want to commit to a Dior Ombre Nuit style fragrance that's gonna last a long time, this is one of the ones that will definitely do it. As I said, I'm sure there's plenty of others out there as well. So once again, from Thameen, London, this is Amber Room. All right, guys, that is gonna do it for this video. Let me know down in the comments below what some of your strongest fragrances are in your collection. You spray them on, you're committed, you get them in your clothes, they're not coming out. I would love to see what you guys have to say. I'm pretty sure you guys have got some strong ones in your collections. So thanks again for watching all the way until the end. I really do appreciate you guys. Please remember to be well and smell well. And I'll see you in the next episode of The Fragrance Well. Have a good one.